In a small village nestled at the foot of a green hill, there was an elderly man who lived simply in a small wooden house with a wide garden in front. He had spent his whole life tending to this garden. To him, the garden was not just a place to grow plants, but a passion and a source of comfort for his soul over the years. Every early morning, when the first light of dawn was still faint, he would go outside carrying a watering can, softly humming old folk songs. He carefully pruned the withered branches, loosened the soil for the young plants, and lovingly tended each flower bed. The garden was full of various flowers: roses, hydrangeas, sunflowers, and wildflowers, growing naturally by the roadside. As years passed, the garden grew healthier and more vibrant. Every spring, the flowers bloomed in full, filling the air with fragrant scents that attracted villagers to come admire. People often praised him as an artist with a magical touch, able to turn barren land into a dreamlike garden. That year, he eagerly prepared for the village's flower fair. For the first time, he planned to bring his best flowers to compete, hoping to be recognized after many years of careful nurturing. He selected the reddest roses, the most delicate hydrangea petals, and the brightest sunflowers to take. But just days before the fair, a fierce storm arrived. The wind roared like a wild beast, carrying heavy rain that shook every tree and flower. The soft, delicate petals were quickly torn off. Young branches snapped and the soil was washed away. The garden seemed to have been shredded by an unkind hand, destroying the artwork he had carefully created. The next morning, he stepped outside with a heavy heart. Looking at the devastated garden, he felt as if his heart was being crushed. All the effort and love were swept away by the storm. A deep feeling of disappointment and regret weighed on him. Neighbors who heard what happened came to comfort him and share in his sorrow. "You are so unlucky. All your hard work is gone like smoke. It's not fair that you have to suffer this." Some said, "If only the weather had been calm, you could have entered the fair with those beautiful flowers." But he only smiled gently, his eyes calm and filled with deeper understanding. Life is not always fair, friends. We cannot control everything around us, but what we can control is our attitude toward these challenges. He shared with them his view of the garden. For a long time, he had not seen the garden as merely an achievement, but as a journey, a continuous process requiring care and patience. The storm was just one challenge along the way. Although the flowers were wilted and branches broken, the soil remained and the plants survived. Tomorrow, he would continue to care for the garden and help it recover. He said, "Let us learn to accept that life is not always fair. There are things beyond our control, and trying to blame or get angry only hurts ourselves. Let your heart be peaceful in the face of adversity and keep moving forward with patience and hope." His words shone like a warm light in the hearts of his neighbors. They realized that the important thing is not to avoid difficulties, but how we face and overcome them. From that day on, he started caring for the garden again. He removed broken branches, loosened the soil around the roots, and planted new seeds. Gradually, the garden blossomed once more, with new flowers showing their colors. His story became a valuable lesson for the entire village. Life may not be fair, but we can choose to live fairly with ourselves through patience, acceptance, and hope.